Parents are saying Toledo Public Schools needs to work harder to find solutions, but the director says the traditional kindergarten through 8th grade method is the only way to balance the district's budget. Allison Walters reporting. Now, Norman has already put together over 50 flower arrangements today. He plans to continue this pace up until Valentine's Day. If you're ever looking for a dentist and don't know where to go, Elman's does offer these services throughout the year for just a small fee. Allison Walters reporting. Your children might go to a different school this fall. The Toledo Public School Board wants to redraw boundary lines. It says changes are needed to help balance the district's budget, but parents think it's a bad idea.
I just don't think it's fair to these kids. And to change them from the only schools that they've known all these years, switch them to schools they have no idea, the parents don't know the streets, don't know how safe they are.
Boundary lines are not the only things that will change next year. A loss of state funds will also cause programs such as gym, music, and art to be cut.
And I think it's up to Governor Casey to look at these schools and say, hey, we don't cut everything.
Parents are saying Toledo Public Schools needs to work harder to find solutions, but the director says the traditional kindergarten through 8th grade method is the only way to balance the district's budget. Allison Walters reporting. Ice sculptor Gary Christensen has been carving ice for 6 years. He first started 13 years ago with his brother-in-law and has since continued to do live ice sculpting demonstrations. For Gary, finding sculptures to create can become quite a challenge.
Well, it gets tough after a while. After you've done it for so long, you've carved what you think you've carved, just about everything.
Inspiration comes from everywhere. After recreating a zoo statue, Gary was able to place 4th in the World Championship. But his carvings come from more than simple memory.
You carve it and then it just goes away. You got to take a picture and between the picture and in your mind is really the only way you're going to remember it. So
this different type of art form uses different ice elements. Using a chainsaw as his main tool allows for larger chunks to be cut. This is quite an eye-catcher. If you missed today's exhibit, Frozen Tozen will run through the end of February with ice sculptors every Saturday. Allison Walters reporting. Extra bodies, like retiree Norman, are needed to fulfill orders which are the dozens. As orders are taken, tensions can start to build.
It doesn't bother me anymore. At first it bothered me, now it doesn't bother me anymore. No.
Preparing flower arrangements is what consumes most of Norman's time. Each petal has to be peeled, cut, and stripped of any impurities before being put together. Now, Norman has already put together over 50 flower arrangements today. He plans to continue this pace up until Valentine's Day. Arranging flowers has always been Norman's passion. He received many compliments on his arrangements, which vary in size and variety.
I like the creativity. I like to make people happy with what they're receiving.
Trying to find that special bouquet for loved ones provides an outlet for Norman's creativity. Ken's offers a variety of unique bouquets, which are created by florists like Norman. Norman isn't sure how people feel after receiving his arrangements, but he hopes they're happy with them. Allison Walters reporting.